Hello, thank you for joining us. This is my first time doing this. I'm Ainsley Earhardt. I anchor Fox and Friends in the morning from 6 to 9. And this is Jody. And Jody is my right-hand woman. I mean, I can't do anything without her. She is the publicist from Simon & Schuster, and she tells me where I'm supposed to be, what time I'm supposed to be there, and gives me a whole schedule whenever we do the signings around the country. So, thank you, Jody.
Yes. Okay.
So you're going to be the moderator? Is that what we're doing?
I'm the moderator, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to ask questions. We're going to talk a little bit about the book. So first, hello, everyone.
This is my house. This is my Christmas tree.
Welcome to Ainsley's home.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about the book.
Okay, we can, but this ornament was Hayden's little shoe. This was when Hayden was born. My parents gave her that baby's first Christmas. So anyway. Okay. All right, let's talk about the book.
We got a lot of stuff going on. Let's talk about the book.
Okay.
That's why we're here. We're here doing a live signing for Through Your Eyes. Tell us a little bit about how this book came about.
So the book came about, so the first book I wrote was, it was inspired because my dad used to leave those little notes next to my cereal bowl. And so that was when I was pregnant, and I wanted to pass all those sayings and messages on to my child. This book I wrote when Hayden was a year old, a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago. And now she's 2. And this was what we learned from our children. And honestly, as you know, if you're a parent, and if you're not, you will figure this out if you decide to become a parent, if God blesses you with a child, that every single day is different. I mean, every single day is wonderful. And I rush home to be with her because I learned so much from her. And I love to get her love. I mean, it's unconditional love. I love her unconditionally, and she seems to love me unconditionally, at least right now. So I just love coming home to experiencing life through her eyes, and that's why we went over different titles. And when we all saw Through Your Eyes, we said, this is it. This needs to be the title, because I have a group of women from Simon & Schuster, and we've worked on this, and we all have children or nieces or nephews, and we all are enjoying life through the eyes of the little kids that we're surrounded with. And so that's why we did that. And then on the back, it is little Hayden. That has a little spot on it. But anyway, these are the beaches of South Carolina, and I'm holding Hayden. She has all these little rolls on her legs. She's so cute. That was awesome. So anyway, it's just about her life. And you know what? Should I read a few pages? I haven't actually done that. Yeah. If you're interested in buying it, this is what it starts with. The moment we met, I wrote down a list of all we would do, of what not to miss. The illustrations are beautiful. We'd soar through the skies on a super fast plane, speed past snowy hills on a passenger train. And there's the plane, and we're on the passenger train. Had all these hopes of taking Hayden to Paris and enjoying just traveling with her. But on a trip to the park, and this reminds me of Central Park, you opened my eyes, taught me life is a gift, every day a surprise. You spread your arms wide near a starling of blue, leaping into the air, head back, you flew. She does that all the time. You built mountains from sand, played tag with a tree. Who would have guessed you could teach me to see? Squealing with joy when you spotted a dog, eyes smiling with wonder at the croak of a frog.
Don't spoil the ending.
I'm not. I was just going to get to the one.
Okay.
You smelled every tulip, gentle beauty so real. Who would have thought you could teach me to feel? To slow down, take small steps, make each moment last. The world is a blur if you're spinning too fast. And I just wanted to get to this page because this bridge reminds me of my grandparents. They had these placemats on their table in Greenville, South Carolina, and they were all these famous bridges. And so this reminds me of my grandparents. And I feel like I prayed and prayed about who God wanted to illustrate, who God wanted me to hire to illustrate the book. And I feel like this illustrator just got it spot on, and when I saw this page, I thought, that's my grandparents. And he included a lot of butterflies, and every time I see a monarch butterfly, we all think of my grandfather because he asked us to. And when he passed away, he played a lot of golf, and monarch butterflies were all over the golf course. So he said, whenever you see a monarch butterfly, think of me. And when the illustrator incorporated butterflies, they're all over the cover of the book, I said, wow, this is the right one, the right illustrator. But I love this line. I love this, just this whole passage. To slow down, take small steps, make each moment last. The world is a blur if you're spinning too fast. And all of us, especially here in New York City, or all of us, I feel like, the world is spinning so fast and it's just flying by. And if you're a parent, you know that. I mean, Hayden's 2 years old now, and I don't know where the time has gone. But you've got to slow down, and you just have to appreciate every day, because it's going to be 16 years. She's going off and going to college. So it just flies by, and I just want to enjoy it all.
So let's talk about this, because obviously the book is, about kind of your hopes for Hayden and sort of, well, the first book was about your hopes for Hayden, and this book is about sort of learning to see the world through her eyes. It's a very special time right now. It's obviously the holiday season. People are getting together with their families. People are, getting to enjoy the spirit of the season. Aiden is my nephew. Hayden is Ainsley's daughter. Hayden is 2 right now. Like, how aware is she of the fact that it's the Christmas season? What kinds of special things have you guys done together? Like, talk a little bit about that, because I think it is important.
This year is different. Last year, she really didn't understand it. This year, she sees Santa, and she knows who Santa is. And I took her, so at the Plaza Hotel, they have the Eloise. You can have tea with Eloise. And so a few of my friends, we all took our daughters, and we had tea in the Eloise shop, and then you walk over and you sit on Santa's lap. Last year when she saw Santa, she was screaming bloody murder. My brother and my sister-in-law took their twins, to go see Santa, screaming bloody murder. I mean, it was so funny, the pictures. This year, I said, Hayden, there's Santa, and she ran right up to his lap and got on his lap and just stared at him, and they gave her chapstick, Eloise chapstick, so she was just she thinks it's lipstick, putting lipstick on and just talking to Santa, and she loved it. So this year, I've seen... She loves the tree. She calls this the big tree. We have a pink tree in her bedroom. Yeah. And so she calls that the little tree and her pink tree. And at night we unplug it, and she says, night, night, tree, just going to bed. So that, she understands. Yeah. She understands more than I thought she would at 2.
Yeah, so it's really fun right now, right?
It is.
All right, let's ask some questions.
Should I sign while we're asking questions?
Yeah, here, let me give you this.
Thank y'all. If you're buying the book, I'm signing these books.
Yes.
And every single one of you buys a book on AinsleyLive.com. I'm going to sign it and send it to you.
It's a signed book. Okay, so this first one is from Julie from Cypress, Texas. She doesn't have a question. She just wants you to know that you're loved. By Julie and her family, Julie. I assume. They love Fox and Friends, and they love our country. So
I love you. I love Fox and Friends, and I love our country too. So we would be friends. We actually are. I'm on Fox and Friends, and we're friends.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Thank you, Julie.
All right. So Mark from Lake Harmony, Pennsylvania said, "Can we order signed copies of Take Heart, My Child?" We talked a little bit about Take Heart. Take Heart is the first book. It is also available on PremierCollectibles.com. So
yes, you can buy a signed copy.
Absolutely.
On Premier Collectibles.
Michelle,
is that where they go? Premier Collectibles?
PremierCollectibles.com.
Okay, that's for the first book.
Yes. So Michelle from Pensacola, Florida says, "How hard is it for you to be at work at 4 a.m.?"
So that's Michelle. Michelle from Pensacola. Love you, Michelle. Thank you. Going to work at 4 a.m., honestly, I love my job. So I always tell young girls that are young anyone who are in college, try to find something that you love. I mean, that's not always easy, and probably 50% of my friends are in professions they don't love. But if you can find something that you're passionate about, try to pursue that dream, because I was going to be an orthodontist, and I thought, okay, I could be a good orthodontist, but I will not be the best orthodontist, because that's not what I'm really called to do, and that's not where my passion is. So if you have a passion and you know what it is, you're gonna have naysayers. You're gonna have, my own family, who I adore and love, they said, you're not gonna make a lot of money. Journalists don't make much. You're gonna be, living in our basement forever, and I'm not sure this is the right decision. And I just said, I really love it, and I love being on stage, and I love theater when I was growing up, and Mom and Dad didn't want me to major in theater, so this was something that incorporated theater, and it was something that was, they were okay with. And I loved asking questions. I was always inquisitive. If we were riding on the highway and there was an accident, I wanted to stop and help them, and I wanted to find out what was going on, and I wanted to see what happened at the scene of the accident. And that sounds so morbid and awful, but I really wanted to help them. And I wanted to just know what was going on. So I was always the one in class that was annoying, because I was holding my hand up and asked a question if I didn't understand the problem. And I just felt like this was my calling. So I followed it, and then worked really hard. and never said no. If they asked me to work the overnights, if they asked me to stay on a weekend, or if they asked me to miss Christmas with my family, to stay in New York, to be on the national news, I was like, yes, I will be on, I'd love that opportunity. So my advice is just pursue your passion and you'll really be successful, because I would not have been the best orthodontist, but I'm not necessarily the best journalist, but I think I'm okay. So I feel much more confident about my journalism abilities than I would have if I were putting on braces.
One more question, and then we'll just make. This is Christopher from Granger, Indiana. He says, as a busy mom, what are some tips to still make your time with your daughters so special?
Oh, that's a good question. I want to be, so I interviewed my parents recently, and I asked them what they loved about their childhoods. And they both had great childhoods. My mother said something that I want Hayden to say about me. And she said, we just loved being together, and they were a lot of fun, and we had a great time as a family. And that's what I want. I want, when Hayden walks in to this apartment or wherever we live when she's coming home from high school, I want this apartment to be an oasis. I want all of her friends to feel welcome here. I'm not going to be her best friend. I'm going to be a disciplinarian, because I believe God gave her to me so that I could train her and I could teach her how to be the best mom and the best contributor to society, and the best American that she can be. And I want to teach her all of that. But I want her to come home and love it. I want her to have fun. And so when Hayden asked me to dance with her in the kitchen, we put down everything and we dance with her. And I blare the music, and we bring out, I have a big tin of instruments, and I bring them all out, and we have them all over the kitchen floor, and we're playing instruments and dancing around the kitchen. I just want her to love being at home. And so that's my mission. I want to have good food in the house, because that's important to high schoolers.
Yeah.
So eventually when she gets to that age, I just want to listen to her, and I want to be her best friend. Not her best friend in that way, but I want to be a friend to her. And I want her to be able to tell me anything and know that I have her best interest in mind. And I don't want our house to be stressful. So hope that helps.
That was great advice. All right, so we're going to get back to some questions in a second, but one thing I really want us to talk about is Folds of Honor, because you are giving a portion of the proceeds from Through Your Eyes to Folds of Honor, as you did with Take Heart. So tell us a little bit about Folds of Honor, how you came to partner with them, and just a little bit about the organization, because it is a great organization.
Thank you. So Folds of Honor, so I grew up in a Christian home, and my dad always taught us to give 10% of our salary to the church. And so I give my paycheck. The book thing, I didn't even know the first thing about writing a book. And so this is all icing on the cake. I met with Simon & Schuster, and you guys helped me through that whole process. And it's not exactly 10%. I've actually, through the grace of God, I've been able to give more than that. And so I was able to present a check to Major Dan Rooney the other day for $50,000, because of every time you buy a book, it's going to help these children who have lost their parents, or their parents have been severely injured fighting for our country, and their parents are left with all these bills, many of them steep hospital bills, and so the kids don't have a way to pay for college. So we give a portion of the proceeds from these books to Folds of Honor. And Dan Rooney started this organization, and he is blessed. They've raised millions of dollars and sent thousands of children, if not hundreds of thousands of children, to college. I don't know the number. But when I presented the check, he, a few weeks after that, surprised me and came on Fox and Friends and put together a montage of college students from South Carolina that were on his list. So he has a long list of people that are waiting to find out from Dan, guess what? You're going to college and I'm paying for it. But there's so many service members' children that are on the list. And so he went through the list and he found South Carolina kids. And because I gave $50,000, he said that will support 10 children. So he called 10 children from South Carolina and said, you're going to college because of you, the people who are buying this book, our viewers at Fox and Friends. So I thank you so much for that. That's what life is all about. I mean, my dad, he worked really hard to pay for his own college. And then his goal was to put the three of us, his children, through college. He did that. And these two books are because of my parents. And now 10 children are going to college. And hopefully that will continue because as these books are successful, then we're able to send more kids to college. So I think it's great. My grandparents fought in World War II, my two granddads, and my dad was in the Army Reserves and retired after 20 years. So I love the military. We interview so many people in the military, and they've lost their limbs, they've lost their eyesight, they have been burned severely, and many of them have lost their lives, and we've met their family members. So I'm so grateful to those people that sacrifice so much so that we can go to a cafe and not have to worry about being blown up, or we can go to college, or we can go to the church that we decide to go to and we're not told by the government what church we can and can't go to. So I'm just grateful for freedom. And so it was my honor and my joy to give back to Folds of Honor. But the reason Folds of Honor started is Dan was on a plane, and the pilot came over the loudspeaker when they landed at like midnight in the Midwest somewhere, and the pilot said, "Please don't get off the plane, stay in your seats. We're about to take a soldier who didn't make it back, serving our country, and we're about to remove his casket from this plane, and we're going to wheel it over to his family." And so he looked out the window, and there was a flag draped over the casket, and they were pushing it. His twin brother, who he saw sitting in first class, I guess the military put him in first class after everything he'd been through. He gets off the plane, and Dan sees him pushing the casket over to the family, and he sees the mom, and he sees her son standing there accepting the body of her husband and her son's dad. And he said, as a father of 5 girls who also fought for our country and was coming back from his deployment, he said, who's going to take care of that child? Who's going to teach him to play baseball? Who's going to teach him about how to treat a lady when he starts to date? And he said, I'm going to take care of that child, and I'm going to send him to college. So he found out his information and sent him to college. And he started this organization, and now he's put so many children through college because of that one day.
Yeah, that's
pretty
no matter
cool,
how
right?
many times I hear that story, I always get a little choked up about it. It's a great story. It's a wonderful organization. Any book that you buy goes to help Folds of Honor. So definitely, we're AinsleyLive.com if you're just joining us. She's signing books here. Let's get to a couple more questions.
Okay,
I think,
great.
Okay. Okay. This one is from Deborah in Virginia Beach, Virginia. She says, is there anything more important than spending time with me? I think
No, there's not anything more important than spending time with you, Deborah. And I love your area. That's where the SEALs train.
Yeah.
Yeah, Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
That is you have a good personality. I love that. Brian, you would love Brian Kilmeade.
Sylvia in Watertown, Connecticut says, your inspiration in writing such beautiful books is so appreciated. My little grandson and I love them.
Oh,
So
thank you so much. Oh, I hear being a grandparent is even better than being a parent,
Yes.
right? How many times have you heard that when we've been on the road?
It's true. It's true.
I can't. Do your parents feel that way? Does your dad
Yeah.
feel that way
because
about
it's all
his
the fun and none of the responsibility.
She has a niece and a nephew.
Yeah.
And she's from Kansas City. So when we did our book signing there,
Yeah.
she got to see, well, you really
Yeah.
didn't get to see your family because they were not there. But then
They
you
didn't
stayed
come. I
for
did.
Thanksgiving.
I stayed.
Yeah, they were
I
out of
did.
town.
I did.
Anyway.
Okay, so Drumma from King George, Virginia asked, how can I buy the book? So we already went through that.
I think if you wrote a comment, you already
bought.
bought the book.
Yeah,
right?
there you go. Oh, right. She did.
I think
she
you might have
did.
already bought it.
But there may be people out there who haven't yet.
Oh, okay. So
we're reminding them.
AinsleyLive.com.
Yes. Okay. So this is the last question for just a second. We're gonna do Cindy from Jonestown, Pennsylvania. Before you had your daughter, what would be the greatest dream you could help her achieve? So what was the one thing that you kind of imagined for her that would be the greatest thing that she could do?
You know, that's what this whole book is about. It's about, in the beginning, you have this long list that you hope and you dream for your child. Like you want them to play piano, you want them to speak French, you want them to go to an Ivy League school, you want them to travel, you want to be able to provide for them, you want them to play tennis and all these things. And then you have them and you don't even care. Hayden loves music. We go to classes and she's always picking up an instrument and dancing. So is she going to be a dancer? Is she going to be a musician? whatever she wants to be, I'm going to help her achieve it, and I'm going to be there supporting her. And when we were interviewing my mom earlier about what did your parents teach you, she said they supported me. They were always there. So no matter what Hayden wants to do, I'm going to be there to assist her and hold her hand through it all. So I think that you threw out your list. You know, I had all these things that high hopes for Hayden, and I still have high hopes for her. I'm going to help her be the best she can be. But I think it's going to be a lot more fun, and it's not going to be so, you have to study for this many hours, and then you can, it's not going to be that. It's just going to be, I think I stressed out so much, and I waited so long to have children because I wanted everything to be perfect. And then here I am, 41 years old with one child, and I have friends that have 6 kids. I mean, I have one friend that has 8 children, and I think that's great. And I'm very happy. I don't have any regrets. And the circumstances were different from me than my friend with 8 children. But to have 8 kids running around your house, how fun would that be? I mean, I was so worried. I thought it was going to be so much harder than it is. And it's so much more fun than I expected. And I'm loving every single day. So if you're 21 and you have a child and you're worried about it, it's going to be okay. Just let God take control, and you're going to be fine. Children are such a blessing, and to have a bunch of them would just be great.
All right, great. So we're going to actually take a phone call right now.
Awesome. Okay.
We have Peggy from Michigan on the line.
We do? Hey, Peggy, can I hear? Right here? Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Peggy, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be talking to you. Someone I watch every morning, every single morning that you're there at Facts and Friends.
I am so thrilled to talk to you, Peggy, because I am so honored that you watch us every morning. Honestly, I can't express that enough. I do not take you for granted. Thank you for choosing us and waking up every morning and turning your channel to Fox and Friends.
Well, it is my pleasure, and like I said, I love you guys. I love listening to you. You have so much inspiration to all of us that conservatives that I just love you guys. So, and I'm so excited to get your books. I got, I think 5 or 6 of them on the way because I wanted to give them to all, my nieces and my daughter-in-law who's going to be having her our first grandchildren.
Really?
Twins.
Your first grandkids?
Yep, our first 2.
You're
My
getting 2.
daughter-in-law
You're getting 2 at once. Oh, isn't God good? How awesome is that?
I know, I'm so excited.
Peggy, okay, when are they going to be born?
In March.
Okay, so I'm going to get my brother on the phone because my brother has twins. Hold on. You're going to have to get some advice from them. Let me get them. So, let me see. My brother. Okay. So Trent and Darcy, let me tell you this cool story. The day I had Hayden. Hold on, Trent?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes, this is me.
Okay, I have Peggy on the line. And Peggy is having their first grandchildren in March, and they just found out, well, I don't know if you just found out, but they found out they're twins.
2 boys. Yep.
2 boys, Trent.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great.
Okay, Peggy, can you hear him?
Congratulations.
Can you hear him?
I can.
Okay, Trent, what advice do you have for Peggy?
What advice?
Get some sleep now.
Peggy,
I know,
hold
right?
on for dear life.
No, where's Darcy? Put Darcy on the phone too.
I got my wife right here.
Okay. No,
I'll let her answer
seriously.
that question, and I'll give you my advice.
Peggy, it's honestly the biggest blessing from God. We couldn't imagine our life any different, and I know you'll probably feel the same way as soon as you meet him.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm a mother of 7.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, yes. Well, yes. Actually, mother of 8. We lost a son. So we had 8 in 11 years.
Wow.
And so I know what a blessing children are. And these are our first 2 grandchildren, and we say, they say that grandchildren are even better than having children. And I've been blessed with amazing kids. So this is just really exciting for us. And I was able to work But the business that we are doing, I was able to work around my kids' schedule. I was able to do so much with them because we're business owners. But my daughter-in-law is going to be, she works a job where she has to be at work. And I think 2 or 3 months after the babies are born. And I look at Ainsley and I go, oh, my gosh, how does she do it? And both my son and my daughter-in-law are both going to be, heading back to work after. And I'm thinking, oh, goodness, as a mother-in-law, oh, my goodness, how is she going to do this?
Well, are you going to be there to help her?
Well, actually, they live in San Francisco.
Oh.
We live in Michigan.
Yes. Okay.
And I know.
She'll figure it out. She will. She'll get great help. Does she have, Darcy, what's your advice? Well, Darcy did not have to go back to work. They figured it out where what is your advice, Darcy? You're not going to go back, are you?
I'm here with my wife right now, and I don't mean to jump in, but we went through this same scenario, whether or not my wife was going to go back to work, and how are we going to do it? How are we going to make ends meet? How are we going to be able to give to the church? Everything that the commitments that we've made in our life. How are we going to do it? So, we put it pen to paper and we ran the numbers, and everybody's situation is different. But, we are making sacrifices to make it work. And my wife's biggest thing is when she decided to stay home, is she said, I signed up to be a mother, and I understand everybody's got different situations, but she said, I would rather sacrifice, the money and the job to be home with my kids. And so we're just figuring out day by day. And again, like I said, everybody's situation is different, and I wish you the best of luck. I don't know if we have an answer for it.
Well, Trent, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I will say, Mom and Dad worked, and Peggy, I work. My husband works. So for us, Trent and Darcy are fortunate where they figured it out, where they can do that. That is not something that we even want to do, because we've both worked. My husband and I have both worked so hard to get where we are that wasn't even an option.
Sure.
Every situation is different. But I will say, Trent and I grew up, and my sister with my parents, and they both worked. And I remember standing in the bathroom doing my makeup with our main anchor at my last station in San Antonio, Texas. And I was the morning anchor, and she was the evening anchor. And I said, Sarah, how, and she didn't have to work. Her husband was a surgeon. She didn't have to work. And I said, Sarah, how did you decide to work? They have 4 children now. And she said, this is something I wanted my children to know. This, first of all, it's my passion, and I love this, and I've worked really hard, and I want to keep my job. I'm the main anchor in my hometown. And she said, I'm not willing to give that up. But she said, and I love this advice. She said, autonomy is so important. You have to teach your children to stand on their own 2 feet. And I want my kids to know that I want them to see their mom working, and I want them to know that they need to depend on themselves and that they need to stand on their own 2 feet. And I'm not always going to be there, she said. She said, sometimes they're going to come home from school and mom's not going to be there. And I think that is one of the greatest gifts that we can give our children.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, I think that's great advice, because I know that they're both, contemplating different options, being that they're expecting their first 2 twins. And as you can imagine, living in San Francisco, that it's a whole different world than it is where they both grew up in Michigan.
Right.
So
how is that for them?
It's going to be a challenge. Pardon me?
How is that for them?
You know what? It's a challenge because, they live in downtown San Francisco, and it's different, completely different than how they were both raised. But it's where the jobs took them, and when the economy was bad, and so they're kind of trying to settle there. But you know what? Through prayer, I pray for these kids all the time, and I know that I had challenges too with raising all my children. And I say, everybody asks how you do it, and my answer was one day at a time. And you never ever stop praying, because every day has a different challenge.
Right.
I definitely agree with that, Peggy. And the one other thing I wanted to add is what has made it a lot easier for us is having our twins on a pretty strict schedule. Even if your daughters or son-in-law are working it's nice to know when they're eating, when they're sleeping, and the children start relying on that schedule and kind of start telling it to you, because it makes it so much easier for you to know, when to go to the grocery store, when to, put them to bed, when to feed them. Having them both on the same schedule is definitely a lifesaver.
What's your schedule, Darcy?
I followed the Moms on Call book.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward.
I did that one too. That's a good one, Peggy.
Okay, I'm going to definitely tell him that.
The schedule is
Definitely.
crucial because then they start sleeping through the night. And my doctor said, oh gosh, remember this, Darcy? At like 3 months, Peggy, Peggy, why are we telling you advice? You've raised so many kids. But did you, Peggy, yeah, go ahead, Peggy.
One at a time, though, I did it one at a time. And I lived, my family was so close, so I had so much help from my family. My mom, my dad, my sisters, they were, my right and left arm. And, when we did go through, with my son who passed away, he was my fourth, I would not have survived that without my family, supporting me, holding me together. You know what I mean? So that was my savior, but like I said, I was raised with a very close family, so that was a big help. Where they live so far, so that's different.
I know that breaks your heart. Oh.
I was gonna add that luckily we had some help, but I'll tell you what it does do, and is it made my wife and I get so much closer because we depended on each other, and when you have this bond, and that really came true, and we really helped each other and had to lean on each other. And more my wife. I got to be honest here. My wife pulls most of the weight. But it does make you closer. So there's a positive in there too, that the fact that they're out in San Francisco by themselves having to figure this thing out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do. It's through the struggle, right? You do seem to get closer through a struggle.
Sure.
I think two things are different now. I mean, Mom and Dad, remember Trent? They were like 21, 23. Mom had Trent at 33, which was older back then. And, I waited a long time. My brother's 35, right, Trent? You're 35. Yeah. So, I mean, things are, I was 39 when I had Hayden. I think, and how old are your children? Or how old's it's your son and his wife, right, Peggy?
Yep. Okay. They're both 33 and 30. We'll be 34, yeah.
Yeah, I think things are different. I think at that age, they have these great careers. They are settled in their careers probably, or, almost settled in their careers. They're in a different place. They're probably going to be so excited. They're going to have a little bit of extra probably to be able to hire a babysitter. Like Trent and Darcy, y'all have a nanny that comes in like once or twice a week, right? I mean, we all call them nannies now. Back in the day, we called them babysitters.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
just to let Darcy go work out or let her go to the grocery store. But
Sure.
Darcy's such a good mom. I think they're going to be okay because Darcy loves to be with the kids. I mean, she'll say, we'll go to dinner. Like when we all go to the beach, she'll say, we'll go to dinner, but let's make reservations at 8 because all the babies will be asleep then. She wants to put them to sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
You're so sweet.
They'll be okay. They'll be okay.
Yeah, they'll be fine. The schedule was key because
if you don't have them on a schedule, one will be up and one will be sleeping, and then you'll never get to sleep.
Right. They both have to be on the same schedule.
On the same schedule.
Right.
That's right. So
you have to wake one up when the other one wakes up in the very beginning. Otherwise, they're on opposite schedules. So that was definitely key.
Good advice. Yeah. Peggy, did you have twins?
No, I had all single births, and I had my 8th when I was 33. So it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
All the people behind the camera have got their mouths open. You are our hero.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so let me end this asking you, Peggy, for all of us new moms that are watching and listening, what is your advice to us?
Pray every day.
That's
and
good
keep
advice.
that relationship close to God, because that's where you're going to get your strength.
Yes, I agree with that. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Any other questions for us, Peggy? Anything
No,
else? Okay.
I cannot tell you just what a pleasure it is, and to listen to you, and to just I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this call, and
Thank you.
and just keep up the great work at
Thank
Friends
you.
and Friends, because you're a pleasure to listen to, and I look forward to it every
Well,
morning.
Peggy, I'll tell you, I'm there because God put me there. There's no other explanation. I mean, Trent, tell him we grew up in a
No
normal.
doubt.
Yeah, we didn't. We're
Yeah.
just normal people. We didn't. I'm on the stage and I understand that, but I'm always in awe when someone stops me in an airport. I'm like, you want to talk to me because I'm no different than you. But thank you, thanks for saying all that.
Well, you're a blessing. That's
Thank
for
you.
sure. That's for sure.
Well, I am so happy for you. You're going to have the best time of your life. This Christmas is going to be.
Congratulations to you,
I'm
Peggy,
looking forward
and God
to getting
bless
those
you guys.
books, and I
Thank
hope
you.
all you have a wonderful Merry Christmas.
You too.
And just say hello to everybody there. When you see them tomorrow, you can tell all of the other friends there, that I said hello.
We will definitely do that. I'm going to tell Brian and Steve. So Brian's out tomorrow. Brian's out tomorrow on Thursday and Friday because he's got book signings, but he'll be back on Monday. Steve's back tomorrow. He was gone today. I will tell him that you said hello. I will personally deliver that message, Peggy.
Please.
I
That
will.
would be awesome.
Thank you.
so
I love
much.
you. Thank you. And God bless
I
you.
love
And
you too.
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank
Me too.
you.
Thanks, Trent and Darcy. I love y'all too.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
You. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Oh, how sweet was she? I mean, she's awesome. I love her. Okay.
All right. So while you sign some more books, we're going to play a little game called
Okay.
22 Questions in 2 minutes.
Okay.
So 22
Is it
questions.
Is it hot in here? Should we open the window?
It's all that talk of 8 kids in 10 years.
Okay. Well, this is 22 questions
22
in 2
questions
minutes.
in 2 minutes. So you have to answer really quickly.
Okay.
All right. So get ready.
Okay.
Who inspires you the most?
Other than the Lord, my daughter.
Okay. Who would you like to trade places with if you could?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd like to shop in Melania's closet.
Who makes you laugh the most?
I mean, are these all going to be my daughter? My daughter, probably. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Everything she does makes me
That's
laugh.
allowed.
Okay.
Who would you want to play you in a movie?
Reese Witherspoon. Love her.
Actually, that
Isn't
would
she
be
great?
Perfect. Yeah. What is your guilty pleasure?
Well, wine. But I can't drink it a lot because it's got a lot of calories in it. But I try to limit myself. But I like wine. I like a good crystal glass. I like a big wine glass. I hate it when you go to a restaurant and you order wine and they give you like a little Olive Garden glass and they fill it to the top and it's little and you can... no, I want a good big glass, even if it's not a lot of wine. I just want a good glass,
All right.
right?
That's absolutely true. And
That,
nice
and I hate it when you order a salad and it's on a plate. I want like a big bowl, and I want a chopped salad. I want them to chop it up, and I want it to be in a bowl so I can eat it and it doesn't spill over onto the table, right? A big wine glass and a big bowl of good salad. And I don't want a salad with just lettuce and those shredded carrots and a few of those circular small tomatoes. I want carrots and I want slices of tomatoes and I want them chopped, and I want mushrooms and I want celery because I want the crunch. I want apples, a lot of apples. I want maybe some grilled chicken or some ground beef and some, I like apple cider vinegar as my dressing.
All right.
Right?
This
What
is a
else do we
perfect
want?
salad. You just
Oh, and
made a perfect
avocado.
salad.
We want avocado. And sometimes it's good if they do it like guacamole style and they put it on top of the salad.
All right.
Right, okay.
So now you know how to make the perfect salad.
Right.
What one thing do you need to have in your fridge at all times?
Water. I have to have bottles of water in my refrigerator. I have to have at all times milk, organic milk, because Hayden drinks a lot of milk. And we have had to rush to the store in the middle of the night because Hayden wakes up and there's no Milky in the refrigerator. That's happened like once because now I've learned my lesson.
Do you have any hidden talents?
Hidden talents, 0. I'm not talented at all. Let me think, what do I do? No. When I was little, I had a rose garden when I was in high school.
so you better
Had a
bring
rose
us on.
garden. I love roses. And this lady so one of my best friends in high school, her mother was gorgeous, still is. And like and I don't mean physically she's pretty, but I mean everything about her. Sweetest, most wonderful lady. And she had a rose garden. And so she taught me, she came over to my house and we dug up my dad's backyard and we planted we did a big rose garden. So that was kind of a fun little thing I did.
All right.
Yeah.
What is your dream car?
My dream car. So the lady that I'm talking about, she drove something that I probably will never have. But it was beautiful. It was a black Jaguar with tan interior, and it was convertible. And she looked like $1 million in it. Yeah, I probably won't ever have that car. I mean, I can't do a convertible in New York City ever, but and I don't know if I'd spend that much money on a car because I'm a little bit more practical. I'd rather have something else.
Yeah.
I'm not like a car person.
Plus in New York, you don't.
Yeah,
really.
I don't want a Jaguar in New York.
Yeah.
But you know.
Who is the last person you called, texted? Well, it was Peggy.
Peggy. Great. Peggy is the last person I talked to.
What is your favorite pastime?
Favorite pastime? Honestly, I don't want to be anywhere, and don't think I'm saying this just because y'all are watching. There is honestly no other place I want to be than, well, with my daughter, but in church. It is my favorite thing to do. And my assistant's right behind the camera, and we go together, and it's the best time. There's nothing better than that. And I like praise and worship music. I like good music. I want like a big band. I want it to be a concert. I go to a more formal church, but like I'm a member of a more formal church, but I go there like once every week or every 2 weeks. I go to another church that has like a contemporary service because I love music. I wish I could sing. I wish I could dance. I can't do that. But I will sing a praise and worship song as loud as I can. Yeah. I mean, the people around me, I'm so sorry. Sorry, Elizabeth. I have no voice, but...
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is something happening to my daughter. I have one child, and if something ever happened to her, my friends that have gone through that say you just depend on the Lord, but that's my biggest fear. I don't want her to go before me.
All right. What item would you love to get your hands on if it went up for auction?
Elvis Presley's cross. He has a diamond cross, and my mom's good friend swears that she owns it. And she bought it in an auction, and it is his cross, and it's diamond cross. It's about the size of this one. Well, it's a little bit bigger than this, but the diamonds are a lot larger than that. But it is exquisite. It's really pretty. But just to have Elvis's cross, like, you know? I mean, you know, because it represents a guy who was such an inspiration, who loved Jesus, but had so many flaws and had so many convictions or maybe things that he dealt with that we all can relate to. I mean, he was flawed, but he still loved the Lord. And I believe if you do that, then you're still going to heaven. So to me, like to have that cross would be really cool because he probably, you know, no telling what Elvis, did. He was probably wearing that cross, but I love
all of it. Talk about it. This is
no, I don't mean that. I mean just like singing and all over the country and all the things that he did and saw and all the people he met and the things he struggled with. I think that's really cool. So I'd love to have that.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
I don't like it when I don't like loud noises. Like when you are walking on the street and then someone slams on their horn or, in New York when you walk on the sidewalk and people pull down those garages and it's really loud.
Yeah.
I don't like, or when you're doing a live shot on the side of the road in news, this happens, and people rev up their motorcycle next to you. Mm-hmm. Like I don't like to be startled. Oh. Loud noises.
How do you take your coffee?
I don't really drink coffee. I drink hot tea. I drink this, Elizabeth brings it to me every morning, hot water with a ginger tea bag. I like ginger, so does that surprise you?
No, not at all.
I love ginger. But if I did have coffee, when I do drink coffee, I just drink it black. I like black coffee.
What is the last album you bought?
Oh my gosh. So I just download things. Would that count?
What was the last song you bought?
I can tell you. I buy songs all the time.
while you look it up, what was the last movie you saw in theaters?
I cannot remember. Everyone told me when you have a child, enjoy. So Will and I would go see movies when I was pregnant because we knew we were not going to be able to do this when we had the baby. Everyone says you'll never see you won't see a movie for a long time, and it's true.
Yeah.
I can't remember. What was that? We used to go all the time. I can't remember the last movie I saw.
And Hayden's too young to go to movies,
Yeah.
right? So he
She's
hasn't
never
seen
been to a
any of the
movie.
kids' movies. All right. Well, we'll skip that one.
Okay.
The answer
Sorry,
is,
I can't remember.
Gone with the
can't
Wind
remember.
or something like that. A long time ago. Okay. What color is your toothbrush? Inquiring
I
minds
have
want to know.
3 toothbrushes in there. I have a clear one, a purple one, and I think the other one's pink. I don't know. I just have a lot of toothbrushes. I don't know why.
Yeah. Why do you have
I
a
don't
lot?
know, because I just like toothbrushes. And Hayden loves them, and yeah. I think because when I go to the dentist, whatever toothbrush he gives me is my favorite. Like, you can't buy these toothbrushes. You can't go to the Duane Reade or CVS and get these.
Well, you're supposed to switch them out every...
They're brand new. I mean, I always ask for extras. And I just have a few of them in there. I
Do you
don't
have
know
a
why.
rotation?
Yeah, I do. I just grab whatever one's easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the last book you read?
The last book I read was Cricket. Is it Cricket? Oh, Cricket's not. No, I would say the last book I read was Beautiful Day. And the girl who wrote that, her name's Ellen Hildebrand. Great book. Let me see. I think it's called Beautiful Day. Ellen Hildebrand. I know that's the name of it. It's about Nantucket. She writes these great. It is worth. Oh, this is her latest one. It's worth. Have you read her books? Mm-mm. Oh my gosh, she's so good.
Yeah.
You would love it. Sunflower and the Secret Fan is another good one. Snowflower and the Secret Fan is a great one that I read recently. Kite Runner I read. What was the other one? The second one after Kite Runner that was one of my favorites.
Oh.
Something Splendid Suns, A Thousand Splendid Suns. That was a good one.
You only had to name one,
okay.
so you're
We're
good.
We're good.
What is your middle name?
My birth middle name is Ainsley Hayden Earhardt, and that's my birth name. So that's why I named my daughter Hayden. But then when I got married, Earhardt became my middle name. But for TV purposes, I kept it because I was Ainsley Earhardt before I got married on TV. Yeah.
What causes dear to your heart?
What causes are? Definitely juvenile diabetes because my mother has juvenile diabetes. She's on the kidney transplant list and has battled that since she was 39 years old, which is very rare to get juvenile diabetes or type 1 diabetes at that age. But that is near and dear to my heart because my mom has had so many complications because of it. And I know that's not an easy disease to deal with. We've lived it firsthand. Any cancer is, cancer treatments or cancer cures are near and dear to my heart because pretty much everyone in my family has passed away. The people who have gone before me have passed away because of cancer. One person did not, and that was my grandfather who had a pulmonary disease. So those are near and dear to my heart. Any children's, St. Jude, anything with the military.
Yeah, Folds of Honor.
Folds of Honor.
Okay, so we actually didn't get through 22 questions, and it took us about 20 minutes.
It was supposed to take us 2 minutes.
So since we only have about 10 minutes left, we're
Okay.
going to do a couple of reader questions.
Okay.
Okay, so this is from Michael in Shorewood, Minnesota.
Hey, Michael.
What is the most important lesson you think a girl could learn on her 9th birthday?
Aw. Okay, what grade is 9th? I can always associate it with grade. 4th grade. Okay, 4th grade. And what was the question? What's the most valuable
What is
lesson?
the most important lesson you think a girl could learn on her 9th birthday?
And this is the dad asking this.
I assume so. He definitely has a 9-year-old in his life, or
Okay.
soon to be.
I would say take her on a date and say, I'm going to date you, and your first date will be with me, your dad. And make sure you do that once in a while, if you can, once a month, if not, once a year, and take her on a very special date. Make her get dressed up, you get dressed up, take her to a nice restaurant, teach her manners, teach her how much you love her, take pictures of it, and maybe put it in a scrapbook, and just teach her how a man is supposed to treat a woman. walk her to the door, open the car door for her. I believe in chivalry. I believe that a man should still treat a woman like a lady. And I think no matter how PC our country gets and no matter how PC everyone gets, a woman still wants to be treated in a nice, respectful way. And I think if she sees her father treat her that way, you will instill confidence in her and she will expect that out of other men. And if she doesn't see that from other men, then she will kick them to the curb. I know that firsthand. My dad is so important in my life. And when I had a problem, I went to him. Dad talked very openly to me, probably too openly at some points, where he taught me about the birds and the bees and would use every scientific word under the sun. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear this from my dad. But I will tell you that keeps a girl from relying on other men to get her happiness and to get love if she knows that her daddy loves her. So if you're her dad, if you're her uncle, if you're someone special in her life, I would advise you to let her know how much she's loved and she needs love from you and not from other men. And I think that's so important for a little girl to have a great relationship with her dad. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Okay, this is Robin in Fairhope, Alabama. She said, how do you remain close to our Lord working in a business where you are faced daily with all the evils of the world?
I mean, we recently went to Daystar, which is an international Christian network. We were in Dallas, Texas. We did a book signing there on Sunday, and we went to Daystar, and I was like, I don't want to leave. I just want to be surrounded by all these amazing, faithful Christian people. Now, not that I do get that in New York, but just like to work in that environment would be awesome. I know that God has called me where I am for such a time as this. Like, I know that I am where God wants me. And wherever you are, I know that's where God put you. And so was it easier probably to be a Christian in South Carolina where everyone goes to church on Sundays? Yes. In New York, though, God has put me here because I'm learning from people that don't share my same faith. And I'm learning from people that are very different from me. I'm one of the few blondes from the South in New York. And I love that. I love that God has put me in a place where I'm learning to grow spiritually and to grow to love every single person, because I believe we're all God's children. So I'm learning from other people's faith and other people's experiences, and I'm able to share with them my own experiences and hope that I can plant seeds in their lives. So I think bloom where you're planted, wherever you are. I feel like God's put you there for a reason, and make the best of it and love it and embrace it, and then ask God, what is your will for my life? What do you want me to do? Please introduce me to people. And I've also learned recently, I think I've prayed so much about my own personal situation and having a baby and my career, and I've recently been really convicted about that, because I think that's not what life is all about. It is about helping the homeless. It's about helping people at Fox News. It's about loving other people that don't share my same faith, and praying for our country and praying for other people in the world, and realizing that other countries don't have necessarily the same benefits that we all have. And so it's a lot bigger than Ainsley. And so I'm learning that, I've learned this the last few weeks recently, to be honest with you, that I need to start praying for other people, and it's not really, my little world is not as important as the bigger picture. So I hope that answers your question.
Great.
Sorry, I'm
Okay.
kind of long-winded.
Okay, so we should actually probably answer a question from Facebook. A couple of people
Okay.
have written in from Facebook.
Okay.
So this one says, what is the one thing you would recommend to a new mom as your best piece of advice? My daughter Jamie is pregnant with her first baby, who is a girl, and I'm always curious what other moms recommend. And there's no name here, so I don't know.
So I had always heard that children love classical music, and I talked to a lady recently who said her child was so smart, and I said, what did you do? And she said, when I was pregnant, I played classical music near my stomach every night. And so, I don't know if that works, but I thought that was great advice. And I talked to Hayden throughout the pregnancy, and apparently they can recognize your voice. I prayed for her constantly. I prayed for her just for happiness and good health. I pray for her husband already. I pray for her friends. I pray for her teachers. I pray for her school. We're in the process now of applying to schools, and honestly, I just want her to go to a place where God has willed her to go. I want her to go to a place where she has great teachers and great friends and she's happy and enjoys it. I don't want school to be a stressful situation for her. I want her to be placed in a school that she's going to thrive. Other advice is I did not do any like Splenda cold cuts, like deli meat. That's what my doctor told me not to do. I did all organic foods. I did, of course, no alcohol. These are just things, everything your doctor tells you not to do and to do, not to do. Let's see. I worked out. I tried to work out. I ate a lot of food. Oh, that's one piece of advice. I worried about that. I ate a lot of food. But then I just ate really healthy after the baby, and that wasn't a problem. I think I worried so much, but all that stuff, just throw it out the window. It's a lot of fun. You'll enjoy every step of the way. Embrace it.
All right. I think we have time for maybe one more question, maybe two, depending on how fast you answer.
Okay.
So this is a question, actually, let's take it back, a question about Fox. How have things changed at Fox and Friends now that the president is the biggest fan of the show?
Well, it's quite an honor for the President of the United States to say he watches your show in the morning. I know he watches all the shows because he flips around a lot. How has my life changed? I've had a lot of great interviews with him. I've gotten to go to the White House, so my life has totally changed because of that. I got my new job, Fox and Friends, anchoring Fox and Friends, when I was away on maternity leave. I came back with a baby, my dream job, and then when President Trump won, the next Tuesday, my book came out, my first book, and it was really successful, and we weren't expecting that at all. We had to go back to reprint several times, and we just didn't think, children's books traditionally don't do that well, and so we thought, oh well, we'll hit our number or whatever. Hopefully, we just surpassed that, and we're grateful of that. It's because of you, and so. My life changed tremendously. I got my dream job, had my baby, and my book was successful. So my life has changed in such a mighty way, and I'm really grateful. Thank you.
All right, one last thing from Kathleen in Livonia, New York.
Okay.
This isn't a question, but she has a lovely comment. Thank you for Folds of Honor. My greatest joy in life has been the privilege to be the mother of my 4 children. I'm now blessed to have a granddaughter.
Aww.
I'm giving one book to my daughter and the other to my daughter-in-law, who has a 3-month-old daughter. So excited to give these books as Christmas gifts. Thank you. Psalms 1273. 127.3.
127.3.
Merry Christmas and God bless, and sincerely, Kathleen.
I love that. I got to find out what that is. Psalm 127.3.
Psalm 127.3.
Okay,
yes.
hold on, I'll tell you.
All right, so thank you guys so much for watching.
Oh wait, hold on. Can I read it? Psalm 127.3. 127.3 is. I love Psalms. Psalms, so uplifting. Okay, this is. Let's see. Children are the heritage from the Lord. I think that's what it says. Let's see. Children are the heritage from the Lord. Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kathleen. God bless you. How exciting. You have this grandbaby.
Thank you guys so much
Merry
for
Christmas.
watching.
Thank you.
If you haven't yet, go to AinsleyLive.com. You can purchase a signed copy of the book. Ainsley's been signing here for an hour. Thank you for writing in with your questions.
Yes.
Thank you so much for buying the book and
fun.
supporting
It's
it.
over?
We had the best. It's over. We're done.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever your faith is. I wish you all the best. Godspeed. Thank you for watching us tonight and being with us. See you in the morning.